Hi, everyone. So let's do a collective reading to try to capture as much of the energy around us as we can. So I'm starting with the zodiac dice, not because this is your sign. I just would like to know the energy we're meant to work with. And we rolled Cancer. So Cancer can very much be about our feelings, our intuition. Sometimes it can be about our past and our childhood. A lot of times it's about our home and the people that we share our life with. So I have 4 tarot decks here and an ancestor messages deck that I would like to work with to try to capture this energy. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is a very expansive energy. This tells me that something is shifting, that something is coming about when it comes to perhaps your home life because of Cancer. It feels to me, though, that it's a slow moving type of shift. When the wheel starts to turn, it's because we've done some karmic work and things are changing in the energy, but it's also usually very slow. The wheel never happens quickly. The wheel happens at its own time, at its own pace. It takes its time. So I'm feeling like shifts that happen over the course of months. So then we have the Tower and the Empress. Yes, certainly changes coming in. Definitely changes. Foundations being rocked, the rug being pulled out from underneath you. But this is absolutely for your greatest good because we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress, which are both highly expansive energies. So it feels like this is you becoming your authentic self. That if you were putting yourself forward in a relationship or in some kind of context where you weren't really being your authentic self, that's what the divine intervention is for. But it's bringing you a massive change, expansion. The Wheel of Fortune and the Empress both represent expansion and growth and creation. So let's see what our ancestors have to say. So we have planning. And this is that energy that I was getting, that it's kind of a slow moving energy, that perhaps you've been planning this move. The universe may have been planning this move for you, but it feels like it's not really happening quickly, but it's definitely happening. Once the wheel starts turning, you can't stop that wheel from turning. It's divine time. It has nothing to do with us anymore once that wheel starts to go. So let's see with the tarot what else this message is meant to tell us. So there's the 5 of Wands, 3 of Cups, more of that Cancer energy there. 5 of Swords, the Hermit. Underneath, Knight of Swords, the Lovers, which I'm going to flip over, 9 of Swords, Queen of Wands. Underneath everything is the Chariot. I feel like with this Chariot being under everything, it's this idea that you know you're moving in the right direction, that there is some kind of positivity left in you, that even though perhaps foundations are being rocked or relationships are changing or people are leaving your life, you know it's for your greatest good. You know that your perspective is changing when it comes to something. This feels like a reading of perspective, that your perspective is changing when it comes to whoever this situation is, whatever this situation is, that you're really starting to understand why this had to be removed from your life or why it is being removed. Because with the Empress, the Wheel, and the Chariot, those are all very fortuitous types of energies. Those are very good energies for you. And with the Tower, of course, we know that's never a comfortable energy, but it's always meant to bring in the Wheel and the Chariot and the Empress. So I think you understand. But this, what I'm kind of getting from this Chariot is that you know on some intuitive level, especially because the Cancer is here and Chariot is the card that represents Cancer. So I feel like there is an intuitive knowing, because this was under the deck, that this is coming in, that you're not seeing this. But the planning card is confirming that it's a slow moving energy, that you don't have any real tangible proof that the good stuff is here yet, but you intuitively know it's coming. The Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords. This is, you're being asked to really focus on who's disrupting your peace. There's definitely a person. I think these are two different people, so let me slow down. Let's start with this one. I think there's a person in your life who is absolutely disrupting your peace, and I think that's why this Tower has to come in to sweep this person perhaps completely out of your life, or at least to help you set boundaries. This Five of Wands is really saying that you might be better off without this disruptive person around you, that you could be happier, you could have a clearer headspace. This Five of Wands with this Knight of Swords is saying there's definitely someone here who is disrupting your peace, but this is really requiring you to use your intuition, because we rolled Cancer, to figure out whether or not this person is more of a liability or more of an asset, is what I just got. So your intuition will know that. You're struggling with the Three of Cups and Lovers. You're struggling to make a choice. And I feel like this person may be in your friendship group, because we have the Three of Cups here, which is my card for friendship. I feel like there's someone here, and if it's platonic, if it's romantic, if it's professional, it really doesn't matter, because you'll know. This is my card for friendship though, but it feels like you're struggling to make a choice, that maybe you know this friend group or this friend who's showing up as a Knight of Swords. Maybe you know that they are not good for you, or they sabotage you, or their ego gets in the way, or they frustrate you, or they trigger you in some way. But yet you're reluctant to break free from them. You're struggling to really make the decision to really tear away from them. The Three of Cups tells me that you once had a bond with this person, or you once had a lot of love for this person. But when it became so disruptive, you understood that this person was not good for you anymore. But that's the reason that you're struggling to release them, is maybe because of the history, because you have good memories, because you once loved them. And again, that's why I'm feeling like this whole reading is about getting a different perspective. I do think that your perspective is shifting on this person, but I think you are not quite there yet. You're still maybe stuck in the past or stuck in the old memories. So there's the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very authentic and very virtuous, and another card that represents Cancer. So this is saying for you to be your most authentic self. Did we say that when we first sat down? That this is about you finding your most authentic self, your most virtuous self, and understanding that this situation, this person is really disrupting your peace. Then we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is about serenity. It's about healing, but it's definitely about seeing it from a different perspective. It's about going back to your childhood and saying to yourself, okay, maybe I've known this person since childhood, but it doesn't mean that it's good for me. Just because I have a long history with someone doesn't mean that I'm meant to bring them forward with me into my future. But I feel like that's what you're struggling with, that you find some comfort in this person. There's a long history with the Six of Cups, but you know you're going to heal by releasing them. But that's the struggle. That's what you're going through right now at the moment. The message here with the Five of Swords and the Nine of Swords is that this person is really, okay, so when I was getting sabotage from this card earlier, that I think I picked that up from this Five of Swords. This person really is trying to make you lose your confidence in something, trying to sabotage in some way. It's based in their own ego and based in their own fear, because I'm seeing this Five of Swords here. But this is really not someone who is as innocent as they present themselves to be. And it feels like this person needs a lot of healing, but don't get wrapped up in their karma, because it's just going to cause you stress. This Nine of Swords here is really just another reminder that this person is really disrupting your peace, maybe disrupting your sleep, maybe disrupting your mental health. The Nine of Swords could represent all of those things. And for some of you, this could be a family member, because with the Three of Cups and the Six of Cups, it could very well be someone that you were going all the way back to childhood with. Could be a childhood friend. Make that part make sense for you. But this is someone who's disruptive, and probably they're being disruptive purposefully. Temperance is about moderation and equilibrium. So I think this is saying that the only way to get this equilibrium, to get balance in your life, is to move away from this. Because unless you can find a way to balance out this person, but they're showing up as 2 5s, and arguably the worst 5s, although none of the 5s are really a fantastic energy, but these are very aggressive. These are very purposeful. This is someone who's trying to get in your way, but yet you're still seeing them as, oh, but they wouldn't do this. We've spent all this time together. But the reality is they are doing it, and this is why it's imperative that you change the perspective. The Hermit and the Queen of Wands are your potential final outcome. So I feel like you spending some time alone with the Hermit and doing that deep dive into your soul and understanding a new perspective, because the Hermit goes deep into the forest and sits there until they understand. They go through that squeeze, that dark night of the soul, as we say. And you only have this lantern to illuminate the way, which means that the answers all have to come from inside of you. And the more you spend time with this person or this group, the more you're going to be influenced by their opinions and their thoughts. And so this Hermit is really saying that that's not really where you need to be right now. You need to be alone in the forest, listening to your own thoughts. We rolled Cancer, and that's so intuitive. The Queen of Cups is so intuitive. This answer is going to come from your intuition by separating yourself from this situation. And then I see this Queen of Wands, which is kind of randomly here. Like, where did this Queen of Wands come from? Because it's not the same person as this. And that's what I was getting at first. I thought they were the same person, but I realized quickly they're not. So this Queen of Wands just like randomly plopped herself right here in this reading. And I'm feeling like this is someone who is like a new person who you don't even see coming, because there's no connection to this Queen of Wands to the rest of this reading. She's just floating out in space here. So I feel like there's whatever you leave behind with this Hermit energy, it's quickly going to be filled up by someone else who is not going to leave you feeling shallow or hollow or empty or bored or whatever was happening here, or deceived. The Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords, those two together are not a very good combination when it comes to personal relationships. So I feel like this is probably just a better match for you, someone who's going to excite you, but not cause the drama, not be purposefully sabotaging. And then we have the Emperor. The Emperor is wise and passionate, and this is a really good combination. If you were to put the energy of the Hermit and combine it with the energy of the Queen of Wands, that represents everything that the Emperor represents, because the Hermit's very wise and the Queen of Wands is very passionate, and the Emperor is all of that. So this is really about you finding that inner wisdom, that Emperor wisdom, but the Emperor also uses discipline, getting the discipline to set boundaries with this person. And then something really passionate, and I'm getting fun, is going to come through. This is not fun. Five of Wands and Five of Swords is the opposite of fun. Something fun wants to come in for you. Someone fun wants to come in. But this is about you setting this boundary, setting the stage for this new opening. The universe is coming. The Tower is here in your current energy. So if the rug hasn't been pulled out from underneath you when it comes to this sabotaging relationship, it's coming. There's going to be something that happens soon that will release you from this person's energy and allow this good stuff to come in. But you do have to go within first to try to find how that path is going to open up for you. So there you go. That is our collective reading. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? Consider subscribing to the channel if you like my vibe, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.